big lead. Not too much to do with the cue ball now. Should take this opening frame.
9.
Yeah, hopefully today, Dennis, as well, the
50.
table plays a little better. Last night, both players were not entirely
60.
happy with the conditions, the way they were. I don't know whether it was because it was the hottest day of the year outside or something, but they didn't seem to think it was playing very well. It seems pretty good now.
23. 24.
He's starting to look very comfortable out there. Another one of these players that just makes the game look
30.
so easy.
32.
Terrific to watch. And certainly doesn't hang around. There was a couple of frames that went over the 25-minute mark. In fact, the second frame was 38 minutes. But as I say,
39.
if it gets tied up, he can mix it with the best.
40.
Mark's one of the best tactical players in the game as well, but he's just starting to look good here.
Yeah, you can't say he's had it easy in this championship either. 2 of the rounds he's been involved in.
46.
Sean Murphy's match was tremendous standard. 7-5 down to Luca Brissell. Managed to get an 8-all after the interval, which was a
53.
pretty big result, and then played brilliantly in the last session. So it's been far from
54.
straightforward for Judd.
Yeah, good point, John. He lost 6 frames in a row. Well, here comes a bit of naughty snooker. Yeah, he lost 6 frames in a row and didn't panic. And he came back against Luca because
60.
Luca was amazing in that match.
63.
So just
66.
one naughty shot in this clearance. Wow, there's another one.
70.
Doesn't matter about the blue. Great start for the world #1. He takes the opening frame and extends his lead to 6-3.
Well, let's see if Mark Williams can get the cue ball over there. As I say, it's proven to be a problem with all the players trying to swing that cue ball around. They just can't get enough side on. So the days of getting in behind green, certainly nowhere near the brown, they seem to be long gone. The cloths are so good. Yeah, no problem getting the side on that one. Lovely safety shot.
I'm not sure if the middle pocket's in the way of landing on. There's 2 reds behind the black on the cushion to land on the one to the right there. Might just be able to make it. And he has. Very good.
Yeah, Mark would love to be able to get him back in behind yellow and brown again, but the way the reds are situated, he can't do that. So he's just been down towards the green pocket. Might try and leave it somewhere near the jaws. Yeah, very good. A little bit of chest there, and Judd came out on top. Much more difficult for Mark from this situation.
And a spot of bother here, yeah. It's amazing they've played each other 20 times, but they've only played each other once here at the Crucible. What a match that was, the semi-final in 2022, 17-16 to Judd Trump. It was an incredible match, that. Meanwhile, Judd sits there and he knows he's got Mark and a spot of bother here.
Yeah, you know it's a good one when Mark Williams is taking this long. He's usually got the answers to most things. I mean, he can't drop on the red. The red that's at the back of the black, he can't drop into that. The middle pocket's in the way on the right-hand side, even if you could be that accurate. So is he talking about just dropping on this red dead weight? He is. The one at the top of the cluster. Yep, that's a pretty good shot from where he was. He may be going back where he's just come from, but that was an excellent way of getting out of it. He's now just having a look to see if he could play the red, well, nearly full ball on the left-hand side and leave the cue ball in the jaws of the top pocket. But I think when he went round and had a look, there's a red that goes in the middle. So that's not particularly appealing.
I think just the way he was walking around the table there, he was more or less, I'm in a right hole here. Well, what can you say? What a bit of cueing that was. Incredible.
Brown ball.
Is he going to reach? This is perfect. What a shot.
I mean, that is just crazy. Judd Trump must have thought, I'm going to be back in here at any minute, and he's potted one of the reds of the championship and rolled him in behind the brown. Fantastic from Mark Williams, that, the last two shots. Your turn, Judd.
know if he can cut this one into the left corner pocket. It's a very thin one, but if there's half a chance, he'll take it on. But he doesn't like it, does he? Just got to watch the cue ball doesn't fly across and in the middle pocket.
One.
I mean, Dennis, how has he ended up with a scoring chance here? He was in absolute all sorts 2 shots ago. Incredible match play to get out of that.
But that cutback on the red, it just reminded me of his match in the deciding frame against John Higgins. He potted a blue
3.
when he was tucked up on the cushion. There was an in-off to the middle and he played it with pace to avoid the in-off and landed perfect on the pink. I mean, that was an incredible match that the two class of 92 put on. John Higgins, Mark Williams, an amazing match.
4.
You don't see that very often. He's got the rest out, which he can do just to see where he would leave the white if he would need the rest. He might leave the rest there. You never know with Mark. Pot the pink and never seen that before, John. That was amazing.
10.
How he lined that up before he even played the shot.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. 11. $80.
Yeah, he's just worried about the cannon onto the other red. Trying to work out how thick or thin he needs the cannon off that to retain position. There's something about it he doesn't like.
Yeah, I think he's frightened of leaving the white on the side cushion when he plays the cannon, but you know, the pink's available. I think he'll be okay if he plays the cannon. He'll have a shot at the pink or the black. But he doesn't want that white finishing up on the side cushion.
$90.
It's a tricky black though. The pink will pot, but he's running away from the reds. Can he just drop the pink in and leave the red that's next to the cue ball? That's what he's played. And he's just dropped it in, so he'll have a shot at the red.
25. $26.
Yeah, he's just a remarkable player. He really is. Plays shots other players don't play. And sometimes I can remember playing him on numerous occasions. You'd sit in the chair and thinking, oh, I'll be coming back to the table any second now. And he'd just fathom a shot from somewhere and drop it in dead weight. And you think, how good's that? And you just keep sitting in your chair. Even if he is getting
36.
attacked by something in the auditorium. But yeah, he's an incredible shot maker.
$33.
might have to leave a red along the cushion because the red next to the black. Oh, well, he's got a bit of angle to work with, so yeah, he could play out on that red, which is much better. Looks as if it passes the black when it's respotted. Just about. You see, you've got to judge that. You can't get any help. You just got to judge that the red will go when the black's respotted, and that was well judged from Mark there.
.41.
A delicate little cannon is what's required. The end red, if he could just nudge that. I mean, he can go into the reds, but he's so delicate at this type of shot. He always seems to get it right. He's hit the wrong, but he's okay. He hit the other red. He's still finished on this one.
48. .49. .57.
So this is the one that will give him the frame, you would feel, because he's bound to be on a red. It's amazing, that frame ball.
57.
There's always that little bit of added pressure on what virtually was a frame ball there. It wasn't a gimme by any means.
No, it wasn't, but I think he knew it was frame ball as well. Raised his eyes to the sky when he missed it. Thing is as well here, if Judd does his... He can move the two reds off the top cushion if he wants, if he plays on black. Pots the black, leaves the cue ball there. A nice little cannon into those two reds will make it easier. Can't help thinking this is a big frame, Dennis.
Huge frame in the context, even though it's 4 sessions.
Well,
if he somehow was to pinch this and get himself into a 4-frame advantage, it's going to be tough for the Welshman.
Yeah, and the way he's played that looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Just looking there for the cue ball.
7.
And could promote the two reds in no time.
Yeah, and probably worth doing it, John, with that red next to the pink in the open. So if something went wrong with the cannon, he's always got a chance of falling on that one. But if he gets his cannon right, this is going to put all the game on. And it's a funny little one, a little cutback.
15.
Yep, not a gimme. But this would be an absolute mammoth blow to Mark Williams if Judd Trump was to clear up here.
60.
No, he's not the world #1 for nothing.
And Mark knew this was coming, John, because he was muttering to himself as he sat down.
Yeah, I'm still in a state of shock how he ended up being on the table with the scoring visit with the amount of trouble he was in. The typical Mark Williams to get that chance. What wasn't
24.
typical was the miss on the black, and this could be very costly.
this was the missed black. He was just having to have his bridge hand on the cushion there, but I still expected him to pot it. But there was a lot of pressure on that. It was frame ball, virtually.
31.
And now he can only sit there and hope that somehow Judd can slip up, but he won't be expecting him to do that.
Just a tiny bit too far for comfort, but shouldn't be a problem. And we gave the two gentlemen in the studio a little bit of stick before, Dennis, but we've all been there with those two. When you left a clearance like this, there was inevitability that Mr. Hendry and Mr. Davis would clear up, and it's looked like that since Judd Trump's come to the table. He knows how big a visit this is.
Yeah, this is the key one, to get perfect on the blue.
47.
You don't want to be using any cushions, and he's played it to perfection. What a steal this is going to be, John.
What a frame of snooker, Dennis. Absolute classic match play.
58.
So just this black for a monumental steal. Well played, Judd Trump. What a frame of snooker that was. Mark Williams, for old money, looked like he had it in his grasp. He missed the black and he knew full well what was coming. The world number one cleared up and he leads Mark Williams by 7 frames to 3.
This time he has managed to get the white. Well, not quite. It's just sliding off the side cushion there, just to the left of the white, with that break-off shot. And that's the reason it's not getting over behind the yellow. Well, it's a half chance, although the black's locked into a fairly safe spot on the side of the table. Not that much. Too thick. But the one thing that this player has a wonderful temperament, always has. I'm sure he'll be able to put that last frame behind him and get on with things.
Five. Mark Williams, 5.
Wow, that was so close. Look where the brown is dead. You can't believe it didn't go in. Amazing. It's wobbled a few times. He would have thought it was in there. Look, 4 or 5 times it wobbled in the jaws.
Interesting to see what Judd plays here. He has got the brown over the corner.
With pace to give himself a chance to get near to a red. It's a wonderful chance now, though.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst bump you've ever seen either, was it? Come off lovely there.
12.
So right back in prime position.
$70.
Good that he had the presence of mind there, Dennis, wasn't it, to go down and have a look? A lot of people might have just got down and played that and then not realised, but Mark was very savvy there.
Thank you. The 17th frame. Judd Trump to break.
Referee Rob Spencer calls it. Third session underway. Judd Trump breaking off. I would imagine at the start of this match, I didn't look at the odds, but Judd would have been favourite, world number one, with most people, but after 2 sessions, we can't separate them. No big favourite now. And always a pleasure to be joined in the commentary box by 7 times champion of the world, Stephen Hendry. Interesting session, this one, Stephen.
Big session. Both players, you would love to have a lead going into tonight. Poor break off of Judd Trump, has to be said. This is a chance. Yesterday session, Judd started very quickly. Won the first 2 frames in style. And then Mark won 5 of the next 6. He's got the momentum at the moment in this final, even though they've had, obviously, an overnight break. But today, 2 sessions. So the end of this match is in sight for both players. Needs his cue ball to stop, and it has. Beautiful.
3. Four.
Yes, 8 frames in this session. Somebody can win it. Then they're going to have at least a 2-frame advantage going into the final session this evening. So, big moments in this match.
11.
And just the start Mark Williams would have been looking for.
It's such a settler, isn't it, when you put
12.
that first long red that you're left with. It really does just calm you down.
Yeah, and the way it went in, right in the heart of the pocket. Always a great feeling for any snooker player.
You see the
19.
different way that Mark Williams goes about break building. Watching Jiao Sing Tong yesterday, I'm sure he would have gone into the bunch there off that black, knowing that he would have been on 1 or 2 of the loose reds.
20.
If the split didn't work, Mark Williams goes about it a different way. Likes to pick off the loose reds.
He has an opportunity now to play a little cannon to cluster, knowing he'll be on the red above the black. And played it nicely. Unfortunately, didn't go into a lot of pace, so
20.
first look, he's not brought many reds, if any, into play.
Well, a
28.
lovely target, as long as he gets a good angle on the blue, which he has done. He's absolutely perfect. You think the red to the left of the pink as we look. If he makes some sort of contact on that. Not with too much pace. Although in saying that, the other red may go close to the left corner, so needs to be a little bit careful. He's gone into the pink. And he's okay. It's perfect. As I say, didn't need to go into them with
30.
huge pace because the reds were already spread around a little bit. What a chance he's created from that opening long pot.
30.
The reds he needs are available. Inch perfect.
41.
What's a start?
$42.
Didn't hit that one properly, but the reds are so well spread that
49.
pretty much wherever you put the cue ball, you're bound to have a pot at something. And he's got this red to left middle position for the black again.
50.
Again, that's not a good shot. The last couple, he just hasn't got through the cue ball. A little bit maybe edgy.
Yeah, realising now that a few more pots and he's going to win this first frame. So, as you say, just quitting on the shot slightly. Well, the black went in, but you can see from his body language,
57,
he's not on the
touching
next red. He's come and nestled on a red, and he can't pot anything. End of break. And it was all because he just lost the cue ball slightly.
It was immaculate up to then, up to a couple of shots ago. Then he just didn't. A couple of poor strikes and easy shots, and it's end of break. Incredible.
So he's got a 57-point lead, but there's still 83 remaining. Touching ball, he can fire away and get a good cue ball, but look at the way the reds are. That 57-point lead will count for nothing if Judd Trump gets in next. And that's the problem. If you just lose position slightly and it's a bit more of an awkward pot, you concentrate so much on the pot, just lose the cue ball slightly. Good contribution, good start.
Mark Williams, 57.
But it's not a frame winner.
Yeah, it's because it was such a good start, it's now become, well, would be a very bad frame to lose. Got that way too thin. So leave a pot on for Mark Williams, but it's a chance. But now there's pressure on this red from distance. When you see the state of the table.
Can't get past the blue for the easier red, the one closest to the pocket. And if he plays a pot, he will be leaving that red there, so he needs to get it. Needs to stop short to the ball line, and does. Another super pot. Never touched the sides.
We do talk about a lot, but Mark Williams' strength is his temperament. I mean, it'd be easy to sort of hang on to the thoughts of that when he was in first with that chance. Didn't convert, but it comes back to the table. Has already forgotten about it and plays an immaculate pot. As you say, John, middle of the pocket.
5.
This is someone who, John, at the
6.
Players' Championship, said to me, because of his eyesight, he said, this could be the end, Stephen. Incredible.
And that black dropping in now puts it into snooker's required, but I'm sure he'll be determined to pot all these remaining balls. Doesn't want to give
40.
Judd any table time.
Mark Williams,
well, that's a
40.
bit careless, and Judd will come back. No hopes of winning the frame, but just to have a bit of time, get his cue arm going,
Well,
get the pace of the table. It was a bit careless from Mark.
eight. 9.
Well, the way he's played that
60.
tells me he wants to at least try and win this frame. If you just want to get pot some balls and get your hand on the table, you'd play the pink in the middle.
Judd
Yeah,
Trump,
absolutely.
16.
As I say, I didn't think he was thinking he'd have any hope of winning. As it stands at the moment, 3 4-point snookers to tie. But as I say, first frame of the morning.
The other semi-final, the
Frame
frame would be
conceded.
conceded.
First frame,
because
Mark Williams.
both of those players just want to get on with it, but Judd has conceded. Mark Williams takes the first frame of the morning and leads for the first time in a while, actually, 9-8.
Good length. And a better break-off shot than the one Judd played in the first frame. Well, that was interesting from Judd. Played a thickish safety shot, opening up the reds. Obviously, it's a dangerous ploy against a potter of Mark Williams's class. But maybe Judd thinks a more open game suits him. Well, that's superb. Don't know if Judd has a possible pot to the left corner here with a path round the back of the black. I would think not. I think if he's got that shot on, he'd have played it by now. Trying to get back to balk. Needs to miss the yellow for it to be a good safety, and he hasn't. Yeah, so apparently he said to the referee it was cold in here, but not certain quite what the referee can do about it. He's got to hit this just right if he's playing the one near the top cushion. No, that was the problem with that. It's one of the most difficult shots to judge, because I think it's because the cue ball, after it's hit the red, immediately it's the cushion and it sort of checks up. So to hit the blue was careless. So here's Judd Trump's first chance of the morning while the frame's alive.
Yeah, first glance doesn't look the best opportunity. This red to right corner, I think if the pink was available to left middle, he would have played this by now. So it looks like this one to screw back for blue or bolt colours. Maybe he can stun for the black, actually. Yeah, so nothing to do with the cue ball. Good shot.
1.
Black's going to be tied up though when he pots it, so still not a great opportunity to score. Or should I say an easy opportunity?
Eight.
So yeah, pink and black out of commission. Blue not on its spot.
Nine.
He'd like to have an angle on the blue, but he hasn't, I don't think. If he hasn't, he'll have to play the brown. He'd have loved to have had a nice angle on the blue and get it back on its spot. But the potting angle determines which shot you play.
Brown ball.
Well, that's worked out a treat.
13.
What a fantastic shot.
Fourteen.
There won't be many better shots played than that this morning in terms of break building, bringing colours into play.
Maybe he didn't have any options, Stephen. I'm surprised he's played for the black. Because that red that's next to the black spot, the black's going to get tied up, you would have thought. I may be wrong. Let's see what the situation is. Yeah, I don't think
20.
the black's freely accessible.
$22.
Another chance to try and get the blue on the spot, and this time he's got a nice angle. I can only assume when he played for the black he was trying to leave an angle to nudge that red away from near the black spot.
I think the black may go to the right corner, just looking from that picture. Yeah, definitely. Going for this red into the left corner. Didn't want the cue ball as close to the cushion, but he can still play for black off this red.
$28.
I'm not sure if he can get enough into the cue ball. The two reds just above and to the left of the black. I'm not sure he can make contact with those, so it'll be a stun for one of the reds below the pink. And this shot may bring the pink into play.
$35. 36.
No, he couldn't, but he's played for the blue. Maybe a little bit more angle than he would have liked. But what a start. Great start from Mark Williams in the first frame, and good reply this from Judd. Well, we're all looking forward to this match.
40.
If we keep this standard up, it could be a classic.
Yes, said he did start the second session yesterday very well, Judd. Went 7-3 in front, won the first two frames, and but for a quite an unlucky shot when going into the pack, he probably would have gone 8-3 up. That changed the momentum. As I say, Mark Williams then won 5 out of 6 frames.
42.
So he'll want to reassert himself in this semi-final.
That was an easy pot, but he did well to generate that pace into the cue ball. Playing for the red. 2 below the pink. Just checking
46.
to see if he can get onto the pink to the right middle. I mean, if you had the perfect angle, you could run through and make a contact on those two reds to the left of the black, but that could go wrong, I suppose.
47.
He can get through to hit enough of the pink to pot it.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't play for the pink earlier, if it was always available to left middle. It's never moved since the start of this break.
53.
But it has been very, very good, this from Judd Trump. His cue ball has been excellent, considering it wasn't the best chance when he first came to the table, but he's now looks odds on to win the frame at this visit. This has been world class from the world number 1.
59.
Yeah,
60.
the catalyst, and I'm only mentioning it because we're comparing how people go about making breaks. The shot off the brown, you know, when he went into the reds to the left of the black, it was risky, but it's the type of shots that Judd plays. I don't know whether Mark Williams would have played that shot, so you'll see the subtle differences in the type of shots they play.
65.
Red and a colour to level the match.
66.
Another reason this is excellent is because, I say, the momentum has all been with Mark Williams, so he had to show something
71.
here early in this session to his opponent. It's a kind of match you never want to show weakness.
Judd Trump, 71.
Can't make his mind up.
Yeah. And the frame.
But in the end, he decides it was an impossible task. What a start. First 2 frames are shared. We're level again. 9-all. Well, that's not a great line, but first glance, he's not left a pot on. He'll be pleased with that. Cue ball should have been closer to the baulk cushion. As I say, nothing available for Mark to have a go at. But there may be something for Judd to have a go at here. Caught that safety much too thin. Now you see the red is available. No hesitation, taking it on.
What?
And right in the heart of the pocket. Look at the cue ball. Beautiful.
Yeah, that just shows you at this level how important it is to find that baulk cushion with your safety shots.
8.
We saw it a lot in the other semi-final. Ronnie, when he didn't get the baulk cushion or snookered, more
9.
often than not, Zhao Sing Tong would pot a long ball, get in, score heavily. Will this be a signature Judd Trump frame? Long pot, win the frame in one visit. Looks like he's been aggressive. Blue into the pink. Didn't quite catch the pink full ball, but he'll certainly settle for that. If you don't catch it full
40.
ball, then the cue ball runs to the side, and then you're relying a little bit on luck. Catch it full ball, keep the cue ball in the middle of the table, you're guaranteed to be on one.
Yeah, I was thinking like you, he's not going to be on anything here. And all of a sudden, this red appeared from nowhere. I said, fancy potting me? Amazing.
23.
Getting through the ball, lovely. This Judd.
30.
Obviously, it was all Mark Williams in the first frame this morning, but the last frame and the early stages of this one
31.
looks to be in a wonderful touch.
$38. 39.
He's going to have to go into the reds again to win the frame at this visit. 2 more loose reds.
46. 47.
Not quite got the angle here. I mean, it's a lovely target from the blue. Just go into that gap in the middle of all those reds, those 7 reds. You think you're bound to be perfect. So I suggest playing for the blue off this red. May not be able to.
Well, that could have gone wrong, in all honesty.
54.
But he's knocked it onto the left middle, but as Stephen said, the blue you
55.
prefer. And once again, he's straight, so I'm not certain if there's red goes to the far right corner, possibly the right middle he'll have to play for. It's a red to the right middle.
$62.
Red, colour red, that's what's required.
63.
Yeah, this is an incredible response from Judd Trump to losing the first frame. No reds are available. He's coming to see if that top one is. If not, he could play topspin off the left cushion into the left side of the bunch. No need if that top red goes, which obviously it does. So this is frame ball.
68.
Yeah, this red to go 69 points in front with just 67 remaining. Tremendous break. He'll want to put a colour though. He doesn't want to encourage Mark Williams to come back to the table, and of course it's only one snooker required at the moment.
He's looking at, I think he's looking at the roll-up, but sometimes the cue ball can catch the slate at the table and make you look silly. I think he's thinking, well, do I really want to try this along the slate line? That would be a horrible way to lose the frame if he didn't hit the yellow. Then Mark Williams could put him back in.
Yellow ball.
Just pop the yellow. That's easy. That's the easy solution.
Yeah, and that makes it now 2 4-point snookers required.
71.
And if he pots this red, Mark Williams will not get out of his seat. But he's not potted it.
Judd Trump 70.
So he'll be a little bit disappointed, but what a marvellous contribution that was from Judd Trump. Looks in fine form this morning.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised he played that red dead weight. But if he plays it positively off the cushion with the cue ball, it's almost unmissable.
One.
Mark Williams will try and take the 3 reds that are in a line, try and take them with blacks, and then the red next to the pink, use that one as the snooker and ball.
8.
So 63 points of difference, 59 remaining. Actually, it's only 1 4-point snooker to tie.
9.
And as Stephen said, we know which red he's going to snooker Judd on. Just got to keep tight control. And he's not. He's got to get blacks to keep it at 1 4-point snooker to
60.
tie. Any other colour and it goes to 2 snookers, and he can't play on the black here. Well, he might try and play a Callan, is he? But he's not on the black.
17.
And the last thing he wanted was to play the pink. You know, we pointed out that the red by the pink, it was going to be a simple snooker, but only if he kept good control of the cue ball. So it'd be 2 snookers required after this pink. Still a chance, but a bit more difficult now.
23.
Yeah, the reason we say the red next to the pink needs to keep that, because generally in this
24.
situation, your first snooker is generally the best one. And the most difficult to hit.
Yeah, won't be playing for this red. He'll keep this red on the table, because there's always a chance with the red on. Although the way he's played that, it looks like he is playing for the red and the colour. This does surprise me. Not normally the way to go about it. I'm not going to question Mark Williams' snooker brain. No way, but this wouldn't have been my choice.
I wonder whether he plans to clear yellow, green, brown, blue and try and get a foul off the pink and black. But as I say, only 2 balls left on the table, becomes more difficult. That seems to be his plan.
41. $44.
So pots to brown. And that will put him 23 points behind, with 18 remaining. So 1 5-point snooker on the blue to tie.
48.
1 6-point snooker, but you wouldn't really like to leave just a pink and black on. You've got to try playing the snooker now off the blue, surely. Decent line,
Mark
but
Williams.
he's underhit it.
48.
Okay, he might have the cover with the pink, but he was trying to get tight up behind the black. That was risky. Now trying to get him behind the black. Last time he's under pace. He's not underhit this one. He's not underhit this one. That's very good. I always say at this level, a 1 cushion escape, you'd expect them to hit it, but there's quite a lot of room around this blue. Being in the middle of the table. And he hasn't got a line to come off the baulk cushion unless he swerves it, and that's dangerous. So it's right or left side cushion. But it's not that big a target. But a good hit. Right in the middle. Good shot. Judd sending this down, and he would like to make contact with the black, knock it near the cushion. Not quite. All this, well, it's okay. The blues gone to the side cushion, not possible. Now, it's funny, isn't it? Judd there has rolled the blue over the pocket, and it makes me wonder, the last time I was at the table, why didn't he play the pot on the blue? It looks just as, well, probably easier than that. Anyway, Mark will have to pot this blue. Don't think he can keep it out. So 1 snooker on the pink to be able to win.
5.
I always feel with pink and black on the table, you get 1 chance. So he needs to get this just right. Side cushion, top cushion. Nestle in. It's a good line.
Mike Williams.
Has he hit it hard enough? Not quite.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, will he get a better chance than that? Because Judd will try and keep distance between cue ball and object ball here to make it very difficult for Mark Williams. The only way he can get close in to that black is if cue ball and pink are close together. And that shot there could be the shot that ends this frame. Mark can't keep this pink safe.
Yeah, and now Judd will just have the simple task of rolling this pink, not into the middle, but to the far left corner. Just try and get it in the jaws of the pocket. As Stephen said, you leave distance between cue ball and object ball, and very difficult to do a lot with that.
Watching Mark Williams. He's intimating that he's shivering. That'll be the end of the frame. Puts the black into the pocket with his hand, and we're all square. So Judd Trump regains the lead. 10-9.
Remarkable.
Yeah, he can definitely play shots that other players can't play with his cue power. So now this is the big
18.
shot in this frame. It's not the best target to go into from a high black. That red directly above the black is a little bit separated from the other reds, so this is not guaranteed. He'd be happy just to be on 1 red here.
Wow, that's amazing. We'll watch it again and you'll see the cue ball arc.
25.
Just arc too soon. And the reason you get that arc just coming off the cushion, just a little bit too much topspin. Only a fraction out. Now the problem of getting out of the snooker. This doesn't reach.
Foul and a miss.
Now Mark
Judd
Williams
from
will come
25.
down. Is there a plant there?
Mark Williams 4.
Look at those two. Well, it didn't need much convincing that it wasn't. Yeah, I suppose so. I know a few people may try and made that. Luca Brissell. Anyway, it's a comfortable 2-cushion escape. Of course, you're concerned that if you overhit it, you might knock a red on. So try number 2.
Yeah, the red directly above the black. The one to the right of that, he doesn't want to hit that full in the face with too much speed, because he could leave the other red into the corner. That's the red he's going to flick. Yeah, good shot.
problem for Mark here with the green not being on its spot tight against the ball cushion, brown on its spot. It's not easy to play a telling safety, i.e. get cover on these reds. He's just looking now if he could get the cue ball there, but that's going to be easier said than done. But he's trying to get that area. Yeah, I don't know, it's Hobson's choice really. You either try and get the cue ball tight to the ball cushion, make it difficult, and now he's left Judd with his hand on the table. I fully expect Judd to play a much more telling safety shot than that. On first glance he hasn't. Oh, that was poor. And he's left Mark Williams a pot on. Just that yellow, just is where his bridge hand would normally be. Just putting him off slightly. And just enough to miss the pot. And it's not safe.
One.
Well, just that wow, and if he can get through the gap to the black, I'll be well pleased with that result. And he can. Yeah, just feel one good positional shot. It's obviously not obvious to him. That's okay. Tried to play into an area there. And if he doesn't get the kiss on the red, he'd have run past it and had it for the left corner. But he's now got it to the right corner.
Nine.
That makes the scores all square. And now these remaining four reds would see him pass the line.
60.
And a two-frame advantage.
$17.
He's come out looking in very good
24.
nick this morning, hasn't he, Stephen? I mean, considering the way Mark started the first frame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mark came out. I said, looked very sharp in the first frame. Okay, didn't win it in one visit. But yeah. But
24.
as I said, when you get to this level, and you would expect this from the world number one. As I say, today's the day where this match ends. 2 sessions. The world number one's supposed to find a gear to get him through into the final. Supposed to find that something special to overcome whoever he's playing. So I'm not surprised. He's his cue ball to miss the brown.
$26.
Yeah, so what could have been straightforward with a good positional shot? Not anymore. for Mark
Judd Trump
Williams.
26.
Can he punish Judd Trump?
One.
And that misread was not what you would expect from world number one. That was a surprise. And okay, the positional shot didn't go right, but I still didn't expect him to miss the red.
Of course, no need to tell you the big problem for Mark Williams is the green. When if the brown was on its spot, it'd be a little bit easier. You wouldn't have to play it with too much pace. But the brown being down here, just wondering when if you could get on the brown, when he'd like to get the brown on its spot.
8. Thanks, Mark.
I think that's what he's played for. That's good thinking.
He wants to try and finish with an angle in the yellow to try and move the green here.
But at least with the brown on the spot, you didn't have too much to travel from green to brown. Thinking clearly, under pressure. But he could play Stevens Cannon now. He's got a perfect angle on the yellow.
12.
His decision.
Yeah, and I think now that he has put the brown on its spot, knowing Mark Williams, he doesn't mind floating the green along the cushion dead weight and leave a brown into left middle.
Cheers, Mark.
He doesn't play that very well though.
Thank you.
I mean, if the green's tight on the cushion, makes this pot a whole lot easier.
14.
But I think it's more angle than he wanted.
Yeah, much more. It's the perfect angle to get on the brown, but you've got to pot the green. And he's come this side of the bault line. What a steal this would be. This would really hurt Judd Trump.
$21.
Yes, this will hurt. Look, for all money, he was going to take that two-frame advantage into the mid-session interval. It's these type of frames that can stick it long
26.
in the memory in a match, and it's just this pink. And they'll go into that interval all square. There's the pink. And, well, great 4 frames. Who will be the happier? I would suggest Mark Williams. 10-all. Yeah, thank you, Rishi. Can anyone get a two-frame advantage or more going into that final session? Poor break-off once again from Judd. Left the pot on.
One.
This cue ball needs to slow down. On nothing.
Yeah, just been in the dressing room with Williams at the interval. You would never think he was 10-10 in the semi-final of the World Championship.
Mark Williams 1.
Incredible that he can just switch off, switch on. Not the best safety from Mark Williams. Shouldn't have left this. It could be nervy, these 4 frames, John.
Well, Judd missing that red. And it's finished up a nice, easy starter. Yeah, as you say, this session's so important. And of course, now they'll be thinking about the final session. You've got to concentrate on the job on hand. I think that last frame before the mid-session interval was a massive one. Judd Trump had an excellent chance. And that would have hurt to have lost it.
6.
And not the best start for him. Poor safety shot, poor miss on the red.
7.
So without having to work too hard, Mark Williams gets this good chance.
didn't go into the pack from the blue when he even had a good angle, because he didn't want to tie the black up.
40.
So he's going to need an angle here.
$50.
So just above centre of the cue ball with a touch of left-hand side. Try and get the main bunch. Don't hit the red on the left. Could not play that any better. The difference, the way Mark played it, we've seen Judd play one earlier on when he played it with topspin
22.
and missed the pack. Mark went lower down in the cue ball. That's the secret. And look at the leave.
23.
Yeah, when you go into a split like this, you're just looking for an easy pot to keep the break going, and he landed perfectly. And the red's all that he needs, all in the open. No cannons required,
30.
just precise positional play. What a chance.
31.
Just looking at the average shot times for this match, and Mark Williams is 22 seconds shot, Judd Trump 23. You would never have Mark Williams as the quicker player.
38.
Which maybe tells you something about Judd Trump.
39.
Maybe he needs to pick up his pace a little bit. And you see the average shot time is 14 seconds when he's on a break. That's because
46.
of the cue ball control and not having to think. Basically, you just play each shot falls into the next.
47. $54.
Getting the pink back on its spot might be a good idea.
$55.
This pink will put him 62 points in front. So just another couple of reds needed.
$61.
That'll do fine. Just play for the blue. Doesn't have to be right or wrong side of the
62.
blue with that red just below it. In fact, that blue gets him to shoot as required. But he won't want to be
67.
missing this red. Judd coming back to the table looking for snookers, so it's important this red goes in. And it has.
68.
A little bit disappointed. He's not as nice on the blue, but just make certain of the blue. And then I don't think Judd will be coming back to the table.
$73.
I think Judd
Mark
will
Williams,
probably
73.
stay in his seat.
And the front.
Yeah, he does. He concedes, so a poor break off and this long pot. And that was enough for Mark Williams to seal the deal. He's in front, 11-10. Well, if Judd could get through to that red, to the left of the blue, he'd play it. He's got to get this right. with that red being adjacent. Oh, and he's caught the bump. And I've got a feeling there, Stephen, the bump helped him out because he caught the safety too thin. He didn't catch the bump. He could have been in and out of balk and left an easier pot than this. He has left a pot. And he is some potter.
Well, the long pot stats tell a story in this match. Mark Williams at 62%. Judd down at 43. I think Judd relies a lot on his long potting to be on point because it creates so many scoring opportunities for him. That's how he almost relies on it to get in and score and intimidate players. If that part of his game is not on, then a lot of his power goes.
Catching the ground. Not ideal. And
6.
can he get through to this red now on the left-hand side of the table? Boy, it's tight. I think he can just get through to it. Stun it in and automatically be on the black. He's not certain. I think he can.
Yeah, I think he's just looking to see how thin the black is if he plays your shot. That's why he decided to screw back. And he struck it beautifully.
Yeah, and just looking at it again, the black would have been too thin. So playing it with bottom and backspin, couldn't have struck that better. Pink spot not available. It's going on the black
30.
spot. I suppose first chance you get, you'll play for the black. It just clears the pocket for the pink, because at the moment the pink doesn't go in either corner pocket.
$90. $20.
Didn't have the angle to play for the black that time, but I'm certain he'll have eyes on potting this blue and then playing for the black off the next red. As I say, just to make the pink available. Once again, has he got the best angle on this
25.
red to play for the black? I think it's important he gets that black out of the way sooner rather than later. And looking from that angle, it's stopping a couple of reds from going in this pocket.
$26.
Once again, though, nicely on the blue.
Yeah, I think there may be a red that goes into right corner. He's aiming low on the cue ball, so into the reds. That time didn't really get a lot of work. Once the cue ball hit the pack, it kind of died.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you hit the ball full in the face, takes all the pace. And he'll be regretting now not playing for the black sooner. I know he didn't have the right potting angle, but I'd have just made a point of getting that black away from the corner. Big shot now. But right in the heart of the pocket. Back on track. He is so reliable on those type of shots, isn't he, Stephen? I mean, it's just good, plain ball striking of the cue ball.
Yeah, he's just, it seems very simple thing to say, but he just is a brilliant potter. I mean, I know they all are, but he just is a brilliant potter. He always has been.
I'm
not sure what goes, if anything, to right corner. It's hard to see.
Yeah, I mean, he looked to be perfect on the blue. To have to play that red he's just played with the rest was a little bit careless. If he'd had a better angle, so, as Stephen said, the question is, what red does he play on? Must be playing a cannon of some kind. And it could have worked out better.
Yeah, Mark is there.
Not sure if he's on this red to the right corner.
45.
Even with left-hand side to try and help the angle. The thing is, even if you're playing with the side, what do you do positionally?
He's got a 45-point lead. There's still a possible 91 remaining. And it looks like end of break. I can't see him taking his red on.
Mark Williams.
Just think he missed a trick in that contribution. Should have made an effort to get that black away from that corner pocket a few shots earlier. Looking to see if there's a gap between green and brown to find the edge of a red. It's certainly, well, he's playing it. There's the gap. Needs to miss the brown. I think those two reds on the left-hand side of the table are covering one another for a pot to the left corner. But that brown, now it's been knocked towards the baulk cushion, is a good target for Mark. I don't think there's a pot on. But if he can get a good line and length, get behind that brown, it could be a frame winner. He's giving this a lot of thought. It looks straightforward, but he's concerned. He doesn't want to knock a red towards the left corner pocket. And if he doesn't get cover, leave Judd a chance of a long pot. But you can get too overcautious in this situation. Sometimes you can overthink these shots. I know he's trying to protect the lead, but if he plays a good shot here, then this safety could be the frame winner if he can get behind the brown. It's a good line. He's got to miss the brown, though. Not quite, but it's a good cue ball. He has left a pot on, which he was worried about. But this is a big shot. Oh, so close. But not there. And now Mark Williams got a pot on to clinch this frame.
Yeah, it was a big shot. He didn't have to take that on, Judd. Could have played the dump shot, as we call it, cue ball on the black cushion, but I think he feels that maybe he's got to show something in this match. He needs to still show Mark that he's still positive, still thinking positively. If he'd have refused that long pot, it may have sent a signal to Mark.
Well, he's given a lot of thought. He can play this red to the left centre, knowing he'd be on the brown if it goes in. And it is in. And he's so good at that type of shot. Played it in such a way, the only red he could leave was the one he was playing. So just one good positional shot, and we've got 2 frames in front. It's all about the line, the length. Good line, good length.
5.
Well, he's
6.
slowly starting to dominate this match, Mark Williams. Or certainly this little mini session at least. Be absolutely horrified if he doesn't win the frame from this visit, and that will put him 2 frames up, 2 to play, so he'll be guaranteed at least he's not behind going into tonight's session with 2 frames to play.
14.
So this black to go 66 points in front. Just needs 1 more red and a colour, and the way they are, I wouldn't expect Judd Trump
21.
to get back to the table. And this will be a 2-frame
22.
advantage, Stephen, for the first time for Mark.
Yeah, and they've come out after that mid-session interval. Judd's not potted a ball. That's worrying at this point of a semi-final of the World Championship.
Yeah, and the way Judd lost the frame before the mid-session interval when he looked all over
28.
the winner of that, to lose it as he did. It wouldn't have been a comfortable sit in the dressing room, and he needed to come out after the interval and maybe get a frame on the board, but he's not going to now.
Yeah, as I said, he's
25.
missed a couple of long pots in this little session. Okay, they weren't easy, but ones that you expect Judd Trump to get. And as I say, he loses so much of his potency when he's not potting the long balls.
So 2 more frames before the end of this 3rd session.
43.
You feel he's got to win at least
44.
one of them, otherwise he'll be 4 behind going into that final session this evening. And then he'll really be on the back foot. But Mark
50.
Williams has played superb this morning, it has to be said. Looks in
51.
complete control. Casually walking around the table. Stops occasionally to pot a ball.
I think as I say, I was speaking to Mark in the interval, and both players, Mark said it's freezing in the arena. I think Judd had another word where the ref sort of intimated that his hands, he's just cold. It's one of these situations where it is the same for both players. But look at Mark Williams. He's coping with it. That's a good shot. Well, it needs a bounce. It was a good shot.
4.
Yeah, great line. Just under hit slightly. I don't think you can all for the blue. Have to play for a baulk colour. So looking for a good
5.
angle. Looks as though it's going to be the yellow. There is one loose red that will go, but such a good angle on the yellow to go into the side of the cluster. Can he turn this opportunity down?
Yeah, the 3 reds into those, but he's going quite low in the cue ball. Didn't go in with as much pace. Maybe the angle wasn't pinpoint perfect on the yellow
7.
to go in at full pace. Had to go a bit lower. Just takes a bit of the sting out of the cue ball.
8.
And this really is incredible snooker from Mark Williams. He has found a gear since the interval.
Yeah, it's... Don't let things get to you. Obviously, it is a bit chilly in the arena, but don't lose your concentration on the match. Just because he played with so much pace there, he just widened the angle. So he hit a lot further down the left-hand side cushion than he wanted to, and that's why he just caught the reds a glancing blow. But he's still got a long pot on, and good straight cueing has been his forte this morning. And once again,
Well, this was pured. The strike was just perfection.
21.
Similar shot he played in the last frame. Same again here. Just caught the side of the bunch. Does that red 2 down from the pink, does that go to the right corner?
29.
No. So that's end of break. You'll be a little bit disappointed that's end of break, because when you're playing as well as he is,
29.
You don't expect to lead the table until the frame's won, because you're just not missing anything. So it was only that bad split of the reds that stopped Mark Williams there. So he'll be a wee bit frustrated in his chair.
very important safety exchange you feel now for Judd Trump. I feel he's got to win it, although he's looking at the possibility of a plant to the right corner. Well, the way it looks, if you're going to go for it, you better be sure it's going to go in, and he is. He's taking it on. Big shot, this. Got it. Now, is he on a colour? Well, the only colour he's on is a pressure blue, and he threw everything into that to try and get the cue ball back up the table.
I played a similar shot yesterday, not a plant, but through the reds at 7-3, and a double kiss stopped the cue ball going up the table, nice on a colour.
Yellow ball.
The same things happen here. He's got to take this yellow on. Brilliant two shots there from Judd Trump.
Yeah, superb.
Three.
As I say, it was a safety exchange. I felt he had to win it to get the next chance, but he got it with that outrageous plant. Great pot on the yellow.
Begs the question, JV, did Mark Williams not see that plant? Could he not get to it?
Yeah.
4.
Goes without saying, he's got to make the most of this opportunity.
11. 12.
'That's perfect. The one thing he didn't want to be on this red was straight. But he's got
19.
the perfect potted angle to bring the cue ball away from the cushion.
20.
'I'd like to cannon the red above the black to leave the other one to right corner. I presume the other red goes. If it doesn't, the red next to the one he would like to cannon, then a little bit awkward this is finished. Yeah, judged that nicely. A little bit tinged with disappointment that he's put a red in the right cushion.
27.
Now within 2 points of the lead. So basically he's going to need all these remaining reds. Not a formality.
28.
And less so now. Or should I say more so now? Well, the blue used all the pocket. He
33.
couldn't get perfect on this next red. This is a tester. 4 points to lead.
$34.
Can't keep this cue ball under tight control. And with the two reds on either side of the table near the cushion, he's got to get a good positional shot off the next couple of shots. He's going to land near the cushion. And
36.
then being left-handed, you think this red down the cushion could suit him. I think if he plays for the black, he'll stay near the cushion, so he'll probably have to go back up for the blue.
37.
Really looked very easy. So a choice of colours, but as I say, it's now getting to the stage where he needs one very precise positional shot. That could be the key to this frame.
Yeah, very good. Put the cue ball in an area. Yeah, he's always going to have the
39.
choice between two reds.
40.
If he's got the perfect angle in the blue, I would play for that red in the cushion now, because you may not get the perfect angle again to drop on it, to get close to it, make it unmissable. Well, he's not done it. So you'll be hoping for the perfect angle the next time. Because being
45.
left-handed, although he can play pretty good right-handed, but as I say, you want to be as close to that red as possible.
46.
Now he hasn't got that angle, so he's missed a trick.
Yeah, we only know, though, with the cue power, and he's just off straight, run it round of 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 cushions to land on that red. But a lot more difficult than it would have been. But he's got a great line. But it's just not hard enough.
51.
And surely this red too risky to play. Well, he's down quick. Tells me he's playing it. Oh, and he's got it! What a shot! What a brave shot that was! You miss it, you lose the frame. And now just a black needed. Well, this is an admirable contribution, Stephen.
Well, you're world #1 for a reason, and it's to play the big shot at the big moment.
59. $61.
I thought when he didn't play for the red, for the previous blue, I thought maybe his chance to win the frame one visit had gone, but what a shot that red was down the cushion.
64.
Yeah, when you consider the consequences, if he misses it, he's probably go 3 frames behind. Doesn't matter about the brown. That was a tremendous break from Judd Trump.
Judd Trump 64.
I mean, there's nothing Mark Williams could do about that. An unbelievable plant. And Judd Trump, who hadn't potted a ball in the first 2 frames, potted some there, and now he's just 1 behind again. 12-11.
The final frame of the second. Mark Williams.
Least like to chase than Mark Williams.
47.
And that gets him to Snooker's required, a knowledgeable, crucible audience. The applause for that red going in. But he want to rest on his laurels. Pot this black, another couple of reds. And Judd, 3rd session, and he'll go
55.
out 2 frames adrift. And disappointed with the way this morning's gone.
56.
The frame before the mid-session interval was the one that really hurt. And, well, proof of the pudding of the next 4 frames who've played after that interval.
62.
Mark Williams has won 3 of them. Won't matter about the red. Judd Trump will come and say, well played, I'll see you later. But Mark Williams was absolutely superb in that session. And it has to be said, if Judd Trump's going to get through to the final, he's going to have to up his game. Mark Williams leads. 13-11.
Judd Trump to break.
And what a semi-final it has been. Judd gets the first frame this evening underway. And once again, from the break-off shot, he just can't get that white over behind the yellow, and he leaves this potential red for Mark. Can he start with a long pot? Not quite this time. Going to be a lot of tension, I think, in the first couple of frames.
Yeah, and that would be understandable. But how well that man played this morning to give himself a lead. Oh, this looks a little bit slow of pace, and Mark Williams will get another chance with his hand firmly on the table. That was a poor shot from Judd Trump. He needs a fast start. Judd Trump, he doesn't want to be giving up easy possible chances like this. It's not straightforward. He can be bridging over the brown. He's going to need a little bit of pace into the cue ball. Get it either for pink, back up for blue. Oh, good shot. Good opener.
It was all about the pot there. He couldn't do a great deal with the white, so he's got to negotiate the yellow and brown here. Which he's managed to do that.
6.
He's made a couple of centuries in this semi-final, but do you know, he has made 9 frame-winning breaks, has Mark.
7.
Judd's had the 1 century, but he's had 7 frame winning breaks, so the standard has been superb.
The red that's closest to this bottom right hand corner pocket, you'd love to get rid of that as soon as possible, because that would open up the path of the black into the right corner, and he's got on it. Maybe a little bit straight.
12.
He wants a bit of an angle on it. Yeah, slight grimace. There you see, he doesn't have much of an angle on this red now. I'm just wondering if he screws back in. Or is he going to try and play off a couple of cushions for the black into the same pocket? Have a look at the cue ball. Have a look at his first shot.
30.
Superb.
These are tricky along the cushion. He's just standing there to make sure the black will go when it's re-spotted. But he potted
20.
the green in the last session along the balk line cushion, which was unbelievable to clinch a frame.
$21.
Yeah, nicely negotiated. The previous red, the black, I mean, that would just tell you how he's feeling. Full of confidence, looks very calm as usual. Almost unflappable like Mark Williams. So laid back, isn't he, Dennis? You know, he's one of the most laid back characters you ever wish to meet. Even in this cauldron,
29.
the crucible.
Didn't go into them with a great deal of pace. He
36.
didn't need it because he's developed another 2 or 3 reds. This one next to the black looks a bit tight. He'd love to get that. Depends. See the angles. He has to maybe just flick the black, and he doesn't want to be knocking it safe. So, key shot, this. Yeah,
37.
Cannon was played to perfection. That might have looked very easy, but that took some judgment there. He's hampered a bit, but he's got the red to the middle pocket.
44.
The red to the middle slightly more difficult than the one he played on, but he's just finished awkward having to bridge over the red, so he'll take the one to the middle pocket.
$45. Set on this mark.
Well, Rob Spencer, referee, just asking Mark just for a little bit of time, just so he positions the pink closest to his spot and direct line with the black in the top cushion. But doesn't really scupper things for
51.
Mark Williams. He's got these reds that nice and open. He doesn't need any more cannons here. He can
56.
just peel off these loose reds. Now this is the type of start that, you know, for this, with a 2-frame deficit, that Judd Trump would have wanted
59.
So far, so good for Mark Williams.
60.
If he goes on and clinches this frame, Judd, well, 3 frames behind, he's going to have to play snooker from the gods to get back into it, because this Welshman's not going to make it easy for him, that's for sure. .67 ahead, so
67.
just this red to leave Judd requiring a snooker. No. No. It's amazing.
Mark Williams.
There's something about a
67.
frame ball. You know it's the frame ball. And he never looked like missing. And now Judd Trump comes to the table. He thought the next time he came to the table would be for the next frame. What can you do about this, though?
Well,
Oh, well, certainly not an easy chance, but Judd Trump will be so happy to get back to the table. It's the last of the loose reds.
8.
Those 2 reds on the right hand side, they're not ideal for a left-hander. They're close to the right hand side cushion, so he needs an angle on the black here,
9.
and that's not it. That is not great. Just off straight. Could generate a little bit of pace with left hand side into try and go into those 2 reds next to the pink, but this is certainly not ideal.
Bit unlucky, that. Great effort. Great effort.
60.
Mind you, he did pinch the 10th frame. Mark made a break of 57 and Judd cleared up to nick that frame.
Well, this is an interesting shot choice here, Dennis. I think he might be taking this red on, is he? I mean, he's got a straightforward safety shot. He doesn't want to leave the table. He's taking the red on. Yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. Very risky. Could have played a really telling
Just
safety
from
shot. Maybe
60.
brought 1 or 2 reds into play.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't want to leave the table. He thought, if I get this, I'll give myself a chance. But now as he goes back to his seat, he knows if Mark Williams knocks this long red in, frame over. It's dead straight. It requires perfect cueing. And that's perfect cueing. Wow. That's why we call him the Welsh potting machine. Doesn't matter about the black.
Mark Williams.
Judd
1.
may come back to the table for a bit of practice, but barring snookers, that's another frame on the board for Mark Williams. The black's not too badly placed for snookers, probably, and the pink's not too badly placed either. He might, I was going to say he might be able to play a back double here with a safety shot at the same time. Oh, we could get through to that one.
Yeah, and we'll just go back. Just let's have a look at this wonderful pot from Mark Williams. And particularly after missing frame ball just a few moments ago. That's what he does so well. He cleans the slate, doesn't linger, and he can come up with a pot like that. It's very difficult to do when you've missed frame ball. You can be a little bit hesitant, a little bit nervous, a little bit tight, but not with Mark Williams. Great pot.
Take it on again. This time it's in. He looks up at the Crucible Theatre and he's quite relieved because it was only one snooker that Judd needed.
Mark Williams won.
And this time Judd nods to the referee. It's not the start that Judd Trump was after, but I'll tell you what, Mark Williams.
Different break from Mark Williams. Much better than it was from his opponent, who such an important part of the game now. The break off. Never used to be, but I'm so conscious of where they're trying to hide that cue ball in behind the green and not leave a free shot, as it were. Might be a touching ball.
No, it's not. No.
Needs a touching ball just to resolve this. Rob struggling to see whether it's touching or not.
Touching ball.
It is, so back to normal.
He's going to be a little bit careful here. Doesn't want to open these reds up too much. No, played it really well. Really, really well. Excellent shot. A little fuller with a contact on those reds, and it would have been easily for a red to drift towards that left corner pocket.
That was a fabulous pot. Just look at that. But he's been a bit unlucky with the full ball kiss and the yellow. This brown is a thin snick. There's two reds either side of the black that he could get on, but it's a thin cut. Once you see the white past the balk line, it's not easy. Well played. And he's dropped on that red.
5.
Well, that is a real signal of intent from Judd Trump. Oh, can you believe it? After those two incredible pots.
Judd Trump 5.
That was the first quick one. He just seemed to move, Judd. Just watch his head. See, there was a little bit of movement, which he very rarely does. Once again, he just floats those balls in like they're over the pocket.
Quite incredible.
7.
Judd Trump could put those two amazing pots and then miss a straightforward one.
8.
Slight heavy contact on the cue ball there. It's just
curtail the pace. Needed to be a little bit further up the table for more straightforward blue. See? Yeah, he just saw red stop on its tracks almost. Shouldn't be a problem as long as he avoids one of these ball colours with the cue ball. No problem.
30.
He's already pointing to a few positions on the table, sort of showing his intentions. There's one red to the right of the black, as you see, but he'd be going into the bunch, I feel, from this shot
40.
here. And there's a lovely little gap there. He doesn't want to hit the red full ball. If he can go past the first red, and he doesn't have to hit it too hard, it will really open things up. Needs that red to bounce. Just a slight
90.
bit more pace on that and it would have been perfect. He found that lovely little gap. Well, he just caught the other red first.
He could have paid with a little bit more pace, couldn't he? Just to spread the reds a little bit more. Now, as much as the pot is tricky, cue ball not guaranteed. And if you're not guaranteed to be on the black here, is he going to dig down, try and get on the blue? But this is missable. Very, very missable. Is it worth taking on the risk? Can he pot it and possibly find the gap between that red and the right of the black and the pack and get onto the black into the same pocket? That's what he's hoping for. Or is he going to dig down and try and play for the blue? And he digging down on the cue ball. You've got to be even more accurate. It's very, very missable. No, he's just playing topspin. Trying to get on the black. Trying to get on the black. And he has done a lovely little cannon on the reds. He didn't go through the gap, but had to rely on a little bit of good fortune. He's perfect.
Well, Stephen Hendry's been saying throughout that Mark, well, we all know he's a shot maker, and
20
that shot that he pulled off there, don't think there's many players in the game would have tried to cut that in, hampered,
28.
and to get through the little gap. It was a superb effort and could pay terrific dividends. Already 3 frames in front. His touch around the balls and in around the black spot is just, well, second to none.
35.
Yeah,
36.
completely agree. As much as his long ball game is top quality, but just the way he manoeuvres, there's the cue ball in amongst pink and black, the reds, and just delightful to watch. What a wonderful touch.
50.
Amazing stuff.
$52.
This might be the shot that, well, is he playing for the loose red this time? The rest are all covering each other. 54 ahead. Red, colour red needed.
$60.
Now, is there a red in the middle of that pack of 5 that goes? There isn't. He's got to get the cannon. And going to have to wait for another
65.
chance now.
Mark Williams, 55.
Yeah, nice break of 55. 60-point lead. But he'd be disappointed. Mark Williams, he didn't put pay to the frame at that visit. Judd Trump has got to be so careful here with the Reds. They're going to split open. He needs cover. He could leave one. And he's got cover on the straight one. One of these Reds will pot into this left corner. Certainly far from easy. But he'll have a go at it. Safety in mind, of course. Cue ball back to the bulk area. But this is potable. Yeah. And he's got it. What a shot, Dennis. Wonderful.
Well, once again, as we show you, just watch how he floats this in right in the center of the pocket. Incredible. He's an incredible player when you think he's 3 times a winner, but there was a 15-year gap between 2003 and 2018. I mean, that was remarkable. And here he is, still doing it, Ken. It's amazing.
Mark Williams, what?
Yeah, incredible. There's a bit of his experience and match play coming into play. Could have gone for the brown, but no. Keep his opponent at bay. Keep the pressure on. And that's the reason why. Well, he had a chance earlier on in this frame. It was a very straightforward misread behind the black.
Yeah, he just moved a little bit on the shot there, which is not like him.
Go. Mark Williams.
Well, Judd Trump is going to come back just maybe a little bit of, well, it's a bit of a forlorn hope. He's 62 behind, just 51 remaining. But he hasn't really settled yet, and maybe just wants a bit of table time. Nothing wrong with that.
Whoa.
Just having a look at the scores. I'm trying to do his calculations. What he's going to need. It's going to be a tall order. I think you see a 54 behind.
8.
43 remaining. 3 snookers required. Possibility of a free ball,
9.
of course, which would mean 1 snooker, 1 free ball. That's always a possibility, but very, very tall order against someone as wily and as crafty as Mark Williams.
But the balls are nicely placed, and Mark knows that
60.
only too well. It may be 3 snookers, but the yellow's in an ideal spot. Brown's not badly placed. You want them near a cushion. He could get in behind the black here. Looks good.
Judd Trump, 16.
With 2 cushions, he should hit the red. The only thing, it's next to the pink, and the last thing he wants to do is come off 2 cushions and catch the pink. So he's going the 1 cushion. Same thing could happen if he doesn't judge this. Could hit the pink. But as Ken said, he's a wily old snooker player, Mark Williams. Is he just okay? Can he get off the side cushion near the middle pocket with a lot of side? I think he's okay.
Oh, never any doubt. Took the paint off that red, Dennis.
Yeah. He's got to keep this red on the table, as Judd. Oh, I said he's got to keep the red on the table. He's looking at the scoreboard. He concedes. That was a bit unlucky for the red to go in. So Mark Williams, well, you'd have to say another frame-winning break. What a start for the Welshman. He's now 15-11 in front.
Thank you. The 27th frame. Judd Trump to break.
He's got the white over behind the green this time, but don't be surprised when Mark Williams doesn't have a go at this, because if he knocks it in, he'd be on the black. You can't pot them all the time, and now this is a chance for Judd. The red to the right of the black will go.
Come on, Judd. Come on, Judd.
Well, he can't see enough of that red to cut it back. No, can't see it. So he did well, Mark, when he missed that red to get away with things. But that's usually the case when you're playing really well. You have a go, you miss, you don't stick it up. That looks very tight to me. Has he got away with it again? It might be a red next to the pink that goes, but there's a lot of pressure on it now. Every shot, as we show you, this looked very tight because he almost caught the blue there. But every shot now that Judd plays, there's a heap of pressure on it, with him being 4 frames behind. It'll go into the middle pocket as well, that one next to the pink.
One.
Little bit of a tester. He might not try and hold for the black. He can swing it around the angles, and it might take a bit of pressure off it. To try and hold for the black would be difficult.
5.
Played it well.
Yeah, a bit more of an angle on the blue than he would have liked, but he's got to try and just miss the pink and the reds here. Find the gap off this top cushion for maybe that red just above the black into this left corner pocket. Got to miss everything here. Miss everything. There's the cue ball. It's the slow. It's not too bad. He's played that very nicely. Very, very nicely indeed.
11.
We need to see a reaction. Waiting for something to happen from Judd Trump. He doesn't have much leeway now. He has to start right here. Always need a little bit of luck when you go into the pack, and it's not too bad. Good shot.
18.
Just got to screw this past the reds there to leave the black for the same pocket. And he's played it well.
90.
And he is the player of the season. He's won 4 ranking titles. He's the world #1. He's under extreme pressure. What can he produce?
$26.
Yeah, just finished a little bit short for one of those reds in the bunch just beneath the pink spot. So he's got to try and find that cue ball down the left-hand side once again. Well, he's going to come back down the right-hand side. And he's left himself some options, but that's okay.
29. $30.
Yeah, he's just the wrong side of the blue, but we know the cue power he has. And look at the side he had on that. This is a wonderful shot. Wonderful shot there.
35.
Yeah, he used all his cue power there to spin off that second cushion, widen the angle. Oh,
37.
2 for the price of 1. But more importantly, nice side of the blue. He's knocked the black safe. He'd love to possibly get the pink back on its spot if he can.
42.
If not, he'll just concentrate on the blue.
43. $48. $49. $54.
Yeah, Judd Trump had a look at those 2 reds. There was that right-hand red of the 2 available. Not quite sure.
55.
We'll soon find out. Needs an angle on the blue. Well, he puts the blue. There you go, 60 points in the lead with 59 remaining. He's having a look at that red again. The extreme right red on those 2 is a potable. Can't really get close to it. Make sure the blue looks very tight from that angle.
Yeah, this red to make absolutely certain, but the black's in a good place for Judd, really.
61.
Well, he's certainly responding like a world #1. Just one mistake from Mark when he thought he could just get past the blue, it was very tight.
66.
And, well, he couldn't have got much closer to the blue. It was touch and go whether that potted.
Yeah, and it is a good response. We needed a one visit win in the frame, and that's exactly what he's done. And he's potted some good pots when he had to, good positional shots, and that will give him a good boost, and a much needed one at that.
$72.
Yeah, nice shot. And a possible century now. Big last frame coming up before the mid-session interval. Judd Trump has to keep in touch with his opponent, Mark Williams. Possible 6 frames to play still tonight. Judd Trump is going to need 5 of them.
79.
But this is a good start. Great stuff, Dennis.
Yeah, he just had to win this frame. If he leaves Mark just needing 1 frame, he would have been in big trouble. But
84.
Responding, as I say, like a true world #1.
86. $89.
An incredible record already. He's achieved 105 centuries this season. Picked up the bonus here
93.
last week of the 100 centuries in one season. Got 100,000 for that. Can this be century
98.
106?
Can he get on the black as well as the century? There's the pink.
104.
Yeah, the crowd love it. Century. Now, where's the black going to go? Is he going to cut it in? Oh, it's not going to make it. But he'd be delighted with that response from the world #1. A wonderful century. He's closed the gap. But it's still Mark Williams who leads. 15-12.
They're all big frames when you get to the semi-final stage, but this is a huge frame. If Mark Williams takes this and goes to the mid-session interval just needing 1 frame, it's a bit of a mountain to climb for Judd Trump. Not the best. That middle pocket has always been there. You don't want the white going anywhere near it. And he's left his opponent with a wonderful chance, just with that. Hit the safety shot just too thin.
Whoa, thanks, Mark.
He'd be so disappointed. Gifting up a chance like that to his opponent after such a wonderful frame. And such margin for error as well.
8. 9.
Not much work to do immediately. There's another 4 loose reds available. There you saw the red. The bottom of the pack does pot into this left corner as well. Mark being the type of player and the break builder he is, he'll try and tidy up some of these loose reds
70.
before contemplating going into the pack, you would assume. And that would be the normal procedure for him. Well, he could play on that loose red, just the one directly above the black. It's possible. Yeah. And he's finished, well, a little bit lower than he would have liked, so this is it. Straightforward, this.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of pressure on this one because it's quite a thin cutback and he's going to scatter the reds. What a shot this will be. I mean, that's a wonderful shot. That wasn't easy. And I say it, he was going to scatter the reds, but look what he's done with them. Beautifully placed now.
32.
Yeah, I think Judd knew when he
32.
didn't play the best safety shot and he caught the middle pocket. He expected this probably. So can Mark keep things going? Surely he's got to be feeling the pressure out there as well. That wasn't the best positional shot he's ever played there.
40.
He's left himself having to take the one into the right middle pocket. Didn't get the white where he wanted there.
$41.
It shouldn't be a problem with one more good shot. He's got at least 5 reds he could play on. Just watch where he puts the cue ball here. He's got reds into the middle, reds into the corner.
43.
Yeah, so many options, but all created by that.
43.
Wow, incredible positional shot, red into the left corner, screwing off the pack, perfect on the black. It was just, I couldn't have played it any better. Set up nicely.
$49.
Just getting the little extension to the bottom of the cue, just so we can stretch for this red.
$50.
Pinpoint accuracy with his position again. Would have potted into the right corner. He's going to have to
57.
take the one to the middle now.
$58.
But typical Mark Williams. His opponent knocked a century break in the previous frame, put the pressure on him, and this is how he responds.
Yeah, and the cue ball has been
64.
exemplary. Judd Trump, what a mistake. Just when you thought he was going to
65.
mount a charge, there's a little lack of concentration on that safety shot, and it's cost him dearly. This black to leave Judd Trump needing snookers. Yeah, no heroics with the black, making sure of it. Judd Trump, world #1, in big,
72.
big trouble.
$73.
Well, I keep talking about him playing under pressure against John Higgins in that deciding frame. He potted the blue and got on the pink. It was an unbelievable shot under the circumstances, but
78.
there's not many handle the pressure the way this man does.
$79.
Both players have made 2 centuries in this semi-final. Could this be a third for Mark Williams?
$85. 86. $92. 93.
Well, this is just quite incredible, this response to Judd's century break.
Absolutely fabulous from Mark Williams.
100.
It's not there, but that doesn't matter.
100.
Mark
On the
Williams,
track.
absolutely amazing. Bounced right back there, and he goes to the mid-session interval. He's just one frame away from a place in the final.
Judd Trump to break.
Thank you, Seema. First of all, make a good break off. He keeps getting the white over behind the green, but that red keeps coming up, but the black is hampered with that red that's next to it, so the shot where he would roll this in and try and go on the black, not available. Where's the red going to go? But that's what happens when you're playing well. If you make a mistake, you never seem to leave one. If you're struggling a bit and take that shot on, you always see it go over a pocket. And straight away we've got an awkward frame because there's a red up the other end of the table. There's another red head heading up the other end of the table. I think Mark again against Hussein Vafai. They had 7 re-racks when the frames went a bit awkward. It'll just be interesting to see if one player looks at the other player. Don't think he can take the double on here. Oh, maybe he can. No. That red that he tried to double, Mark Williams will have a go at. So no re-rack now.
Another exceptional long pot for Mark Williams.
Yeah, Judd was trying to make something happen there with having a go at the difficult double. I suppose he has to make something happen, but the red he tried to double didn't go safe.
Oh, that was a nice shot. Got a perfect angle on the brown here, just before the right centre pocket, and a lot of force into the pack of reds here. Didn't get a full connection. Is he on this red? Needed to go right into the middle of that pack with a lot of force. Just caught that red. Took all the pace out of cue ball.
Still a bit unlucky though, wasn't it, to send the red next to the black and put it out of commission. Not sure if he can get through. No, he can't get through to the potting angle, as you can clearly see there. So yeah, he was a little bit unlucky. Well, surely He's such a clever player. He's thinking about trying to put this red in off the other red to the middle, stay on the pink and not leave anything if it doesn't come off. Surely you can't be taking that on, Mark. But he looked at it. Yeah, I think that's
Mark Williams.
a much better choice, but we're back to the possibility of an awkward frame. Not a lot either player can do here. It's amazing, isn't it, Ken? The last two frames, both players making century breaks, and now this one here, we're tied up.
Yeah, this might resolve the situation, just moving the red away from that black. He's got a possible pot on here, Mark Williams, into the right centre. Cue ball would be going up towards the ball area. He wouldn't necessarily be leaving anything, maybe only the red he's taken on. So where to go with this? Oh, it was close.
Look at the shot that Judd's faced with, though.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Wee bit unlucky to finish near the cushion, but what a superb pot under pressure that was. He knows if he makes one more mistake, it could be all over. Bit too pacey, needs to pull up, and it's not going to. Had that have stopped a bit short, he got a pot of the red and cannoned into the reds, and the pink and black were available. Just ran about 12 inches too far. He still took it on.
Yeah, good pot. Brave shot as well. Kiss could have been kinder off the second red.
I think the red behind the pink goes. Has he gone far enough through, though? He stopped in his tracks. Can he get through to that? Or has he left it a little short? As we come round, it's very tight. Might just be able to see enough of it.
I think he's okay, is he? Well, he's looking at the other red. Well, looked from that angle that he had enough, and he could just play off the side of the pack if he wanted, or play for the black. Yeah, well played. Lovely shot.
Well, he's got a wonderful chance now. But as I say, he can't afford to make one more mistake. What an ask from the world number one this is.
$19. $26. $27.
Yes, left himself a nice angle on this pink. There's 2 reds available into this left corner pocket. Just on across. There you see them.
$33. $34.
It's amazing what can happen. You get a little bit of momentum. You can win frames in one visit. He's the type of person that could reel off
41.
a couple of frames in double quick time. A little short on the red, but he can use that to his advantage here. Go into the 4 reds, open them up. Oh,
42.
it's gone wrong. It's gone wrong. Didn't push the cue ball through far enough to be on the black.
Oh, it's so thin, this, and it's awkward cueing. There's a red right next to the rest there, as you can see.
Thanks, Joe.
It was a wonderful attempt, but it was a very difficult
42.
shot. I'll show you it again, but as soon as it touches that near jaw, it won't go in. But there's no easy starter. It's a very thin snick for the red that he's next to take it in the middle pocket. That would be some shot. Might look okay from that picture, but it's a very thin one. No, that was far from easy.
He was 12-8 up against John Higgins in an incredible match, quarter-final. And John Higgins came back to 12-all. Almost won it. It was a similar situation. 4 frames in front, 5 to go, possibly. Judd is going to have to just play no miss snooker, really. You always got to be careful, even when the object ball is stuck in the pocket, just to make sure you get it out well enough. Not always easy to control, and there you see it's just lost it slightly.
8.
Still should pot this, but every shot now is a pressure pot for this man.
$9.
Yeah, lovely pot, nicely controlled. And should go on to win the frame now.
40. 50.
Yeah, you can't blame Mark for taking that very difficult red into the middle pocket. This was the one, because if it goes in, he could have won the match.
$20. 21. $26. 27.
He's become very good with his opposite hand. I remember when he first started doing it, he looked quite clumsy, but not now. So he's obviously put a bit of work into it. And look at that for a bit of work he put on that cue ball there. It was like
34.
it was on an elastic band there. Good attempt.
34 on the thread.
At least It's the start of the comeback. He needs more of that. Mark Williams still needs that one frame. 3 frames the difference now.
Mark Williams to break.
Didn't want that happening. Needs a bit of luck here to cover it, and he hasn't got it. It's a poor shot, really. Got the wrong connection on that red, and once again, gifted up an easy opener for Mark Williams.
One. Six. Seven.
Oh, this could be a shot. Pot the. There you go. Now, is he on the loose red? I think he is. I think he's okay. He's certainly on a red into the left centre. Is he on this red
40.
at the bottom of the pack into the left corner?
No, I think he's covered that, as you can see, just fractions there.
No? No?
Mark Williams. 14.
Well, there's going to be another twist as we show you that red. He knew straight away he'd made a poor contact on that. Just fractions of being on the red that he wanted at the back of the pack, the one that Ken was talking about, and he would have been right in amongst them. But once again, Judd can't afford to make a mistake.
Seriously, thanks. One.
He was playing for blue into the left centre pocket, just overrun cue ball slightly. So it's going to have to be yellow, you would expect. So it's not absolute perfect just yet. But that was a wonderful shot. Have a look at that. The cue ball, the spin he got. Oh, that was just delightful. Cue that in, lovely.
Four.
Yeah, and you just never know, do you? As I said, Dennis, you get a bit of momentum, you win a frame or two, quick succession. Keep your opponent in the chair. Mark Williams has missed his chance in this frame already, and if he can win this frame one visit, get back to just winning two, the pressure
9.
will exert a little more on that man.
Well, Judd lost 6 frames in a row against Luca Brisel in the quarter-final, but he come bouncing right back from that.
10.
Just those 7
60.
reds are all covering each other. These 3, the left side of the table, are okay.
70.
So you wouldn't call it a frame-winning chance just yet. Just checking those reds into the right corner. Might be a potential plant on, but he did look at that, but there's a bit of distance between them. The rest all seem to be blocking each other.
23. $24.
I think if he just gets on one of them, he's played a perfect shot. He could play a little stun run through, play for one of these reds, and once he pots one of them, they will all almost unravel. They'll all be potable. There's the wonderful little shot. He's played it perfectly. He's on a red.
Do you know, he was dead straight on that pink, and with his cue power, he was able to force that angle to play the cannon that's opened everything up, as you can see.
31.
So we've got the 2019 world champion playing the 2018 world champion in the semi-final here. That is far from over. Wonderful stuff.
That black didn't go into the center of the pocket. You want to be straighter on this red. Yeah, had to play off the cushion, but done so nicely. Nice control.
$46. $47.
So quiet now in the Crucible Theatre. You could hear a pin drop there, and what have these players got in store?
$51. 52.
Just come up a little bit short. It would have been easy to have played for the 2 reds or the one to the left of the black, but has left himself a little awkward on the pink. As you can see, should be okay though. Did he get a slightly heavy contact there? Maybe. It means that this red to the left of the black's much more difficult now.
Yeah, sure.
Let's have a look.
59.
Yeah, the white didn't run through as it should have done.
It makes this red missable. He missed a similar shot to this into the opposite pocket earlier on tonight. And he's bridging over the red. It's not easy. Well, it's no problem. Well played. Great shot. He made it look easy, and that was the important ball. 53 ahead, 51 remaining.
67.
Would really like to dispatch this red into the right centre pocket as well, just to stop his opponent coming back to the table. Looks good. Looks very good.
Well, just showing his and showing Mark why he's world number 1. And the winner of 4 ranking titles this season.
74.
He's far from finished in this semi-final.
Yeah, and he's just sending out a signal, isn't he? A message. His opponent's got to win it. He's not going to be giving it easy. He had his chance earlier on in this frame, missed the red into the left centre. And he's been sat in that chair ever since. This has been a beautifully constructed break. And the possibility of another century tonight.
$89.
What a treat both players have served up to this wonderful Crucible crowd.
94.
What a treat for us to be commentating on it. It's just wonderful.
98.
And there you go, another century. That's 107 for the season. Incredible return. More importantly,
109.
he's still in this match and still fighting for a place in the final. A long way to go. The black goes in. Judd Trump closes the gap once again as both players walk out. Mark Williams still needs one. 16-14. What a match.
Oh, the break-off shot this time has put a red right next to the black and put it out of commission straight away. Yeah, a couple of potential pots into the left corner, but pink and black tied up. There's a slight angle with this. This'd be some shot if he pots this and gets back up towards the blue. Now where's the red going to go here? Oh, it's not straightforward. Let me show you the attempt again. The red's no use to Mark. Just a safety. Yeah, we showed you the centuries that Judd's made there, 14 centuries, the record at the Crucible. He's second. John Higgins made 16 centuries here at the Crucible, 1 year in the World Championship. But it's not about centuries now, it's all about good tactical play to create an opportunity.
Yeah, a lot of the times tonight, Mark Williams has actually had first chance. Judd's safety hasn't been completely on point, and that's why he's just a little bit scared here. He doesn't want to disturb the Reds too much. He's going to keep it tight. And you see the safety success. Mark Williams winning that little battle, but this looks pretty good if it gets behind the brown.
I'm not going to say it's going to be a scrappy frame just yet. The black's tied up, but I don't think Mark Williams would mind that, because I know he wins a lot of frames with one visit, but if you get an awkward frame, you would put your money on Mark Williams. He's won so many of them.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Block the path down this right hand side for this red into this bottom right corner pocket with the green. And if he plays off the pack here, he's got to be careful of this red. Need a right cushion. Missed it and played a good shot. Very good. Yeah. He's got him right back in trouble here. That was an excellent return.
Got to get this one just right. He's screwing the white back, attempting. Well, he wanted to wobble the red in the jaws of the pocket. He's got a good cue ball. It's a pretty good shot he's played there. It might have looked a little bit reckless, but he was hoping to wobble the red in the jaws, and he got the cue ball where he wanted. Using the reds as a stopper. And that's another good shot. But the black's surrounded now with 3 reds. The pink's away up the other end of the table. It might just be a scrappy frame.
There's one possibility. Judd Trump could play one of these reds, just the one directly above the black. If he played that, and that would release the black and the 2 reds surrounding it. But it's dangerous, because he'd be bringing the black into play, and he doesn't want to leave a pot on. There we go. There's the black into play. Now the problem is that he's going to leave a red. It was a dangerous shot, that.
Clearly see the black goes there, but there's no easy red to drop on that black. The one that's cuttable into the right corner, if he takes that on, he'll do well to find a gap to get back round the table. Or does he go full-blooded for the pot and hope to get a cannon and stay on the black? Big shot this. He's unlucky. He's covered the pink. The only potential pot is the yellow. But what a great pot there. Found the gap, but that red spoiled things.
Mark Williams won.
Using all of his experience there, not taking a chance and playing the yellow. Just a lot of reds in open play. Good safety. Put your opponent in trouble. Let him try and figure it out. Oh, what a shot. And can he be on the black? Wow, he is on the black.
One.
It's certainly far from easy, but this black is potable. Does he take it on? Is he going to be brave enough to take it on? It's very, very risky. He's looking at the angle. I think he's taking it on.
Well, after the red he knocked in. But this is equally as tough. No. No.
The white's gone to the side cushion, but the
Judd
red
Trump
next to
won.
the blue is available, and the black is over the pocket. That was a big shot.
One.
Well, the chance is there.
Yeah, it was a brave shot. You don't blame him for taking it on. It was a chance that he saw to, if it goes in, he had the chance to win the frame. He never shirks the responsibility of taking on the big shots. So he builds his game upon confidence, those shots. But it could be costly now that he's missed it. And once again, these shots then is the black, not easy to control because they're so close to the pocket.
I think the one that's near the left corner pocket, it's fairly comfortable to get on that. He didn't have too much to do with it. See if the black's in the clear when the referee moves. Yeah, it's still available. Don't blame him for heading up, although he didn't want to be as close to the cushion. He didn't want to try and hold for the black. He could have snookered himself there. But this is a tricky one from that position there.
No. Oh, it looked a bit wide. He's staying right down on it.
Yeah, I think the crowd
14.
thought that he'd missed this as well, but just in off the bump. Wow.
50.
Can he hold himself together? What a wonderful chance.
Yeah, not a lot of work to do with the cue ball. Doesn't need any development of reds. You can peel these reds off one by one now.
22.
Normally so cool. Doesn't feel nerves like other players. Very calm.
$30. $31.
It's 7 years since Mark Williams has been to the final. That was the year he won it, 2018. In 2022, he lost in the semi-final in the deciding frame to Judd Trump.
36.
He's just overran that slightly. You want to be keeping it as easy as possible.
Well, that was a lovely shot, wasn't it? We just have to judge the kiss off the second round and get top side of the blue. And played it perfectly. Another
42.
pristine positional shot.
$43.
I think Judd, when he missed that cutback on the black, feared the worst, but he potted a wonderful red. Oh! I'll tell you what. Wow. He would have thought he missed
50.
that. Oh, that was sharp in his concentration because... Wow.
51. Can you not shout out when the player's on the shot, please?
Judd thought that black was going to stay there.
$56.
Not many pots away from the final.
57.
He's just one remarkable player. Just the black to make sure, well, not absolutely sure, but Judd will need a snooker.
Yeah, that was the one. 64 and a half, 59.
64.
Well, Judd Trump has had a remarkable season. He's won 4 ranking titles. He's the current world #1. But he came up against a player that just didn't want to lose. And even that, he floats the black in.
The first little bit of emotion from Mark Williams. At this point, you don't normally see that, but that's the relief.
Tell you what, his family are with him here. We're all up in the Champions Lounge. They will be absolutely delighted. Joe and his 3 sons are there. And what a remarkable dad you've got.
And what a remarkable performance.
80.
At the young age of 50, he's going to be in the final. Incredible. He's 7-3 down in this match. He's playing the world #1.
He needs a lot of help to get to this, Red, but he will be feeling so good inside.
And what a final, Dennis, that we can look forward to as well. I'm sure Zhao Xingtong is casting his eye over proceedings this evening. He will look forward and relish the opportunity, as indeed Mark Williams will relish the opportunity against him. What a final we have in store.
88.
China
89.
versus Wales. It will be an absolute cracker. And we're looking at a player clearing up here, and he won't like me saying this, Ken. In 2000, he doesn't like me saying that. He did play. He was 40 years of age, and he did win the World Seniors. And here
98.
he is,
Turn that
back in
camera
the
off, please.
final
You've
of
got
the
the lights
World
on.
Championship.
Turn it off.
Doesn't matter, Rob, now. Someone's taking a photograph. It's all right at this stage. Take as many photographs as you want. It's all over.
Another century. Remarkable.
Unbelievable semi-final. Judd Trump played his part in it, but the Welsh potting machine, they're going to carry on applauding as he clears up here. Yeah, they're still applauding. He's going to try for the black as well. He will be feeling on top of the world. And he floats the black in as well. What a semi-final these 2 players have provided. And it's great to see Judd congratulating Mark Williams, because he was just outstanding. The world #1 couldn't do much about this. What a player Mark Williams is. And that's what it means to him. He gets through to the final of the World Championship. What a player, what a win. Well done, Mark, but well done, Judd, as well.